Well, the zoom got stuck on my last video, and might as well just be a podcast. It's not of the game, at least. Just a review. So this is the Battle of Nemea out of Hoplite. This is, I guess, the opening battle of the Corinthian War, where Sparta takes on an alliance formed by Corinth. We have Athenians, Boeotians, Thebans. Actually, I don't think we have Boeotians. Argos. Thebans are fairly major. They have one of their big double D, and they only have one. These are Corinthians. What's this? Argos. Some other things. Megaliths. I don't know. Megara. I don't know why the Argos is mixed in over there. It probably shouldn't be. Huh. Those Megarans shouldn't be there. Those should be Argosians. Let's see if we can find the right counter mix. What am I supposed to have? Argos 1 through 4, and I got these Megarans instead. I don't know why they got in there. Okay. A little bit better. Facing Spartan allies, a bunch of different Spartan allied powers here. Generally pretty piss poor units, but then of course the Spartan heart is not. This is not the quality that we saw in. I think even obviously not Canoxa, but I don't know where we saw the Spartans last. But they had very high quality units in the scenario we saw them, and these are okay. They're good, but they're not the level they were. Not a lot in terms of special rules in this one. The designer says it's mainly pretty balanced. It's just going to be a giant shoving match. This is pretty close to as much as you can get, just two big phalanx armies slamming into each other as you can get. There's some cav over in the wings here, including this annoying white Athenian cav. That's a misprint. Should be purple along with the rest. I've been wondering what the hell it goes with, but I saw that somewhere. The Spartans have a little bit of cav, just 2 units. They also have some skirmisher slingers and some Cretan archers. This is the setup that's put here. You don't have to actually follow this, even if you're doing the historical. You just have to put all this crap within a couple. But I like to do that because I figure, well, they kind of know what they're doing, but I kind of not so sure about that because I wouldn't want these archers in the line, to tell you the truth. Anyway, no advantage for initiative points. The Corinthian alliance has 65 points. The Spartans have 55 before they break. Leaders don't count except for one. Aristodemus. I'm sure I've got my... Who is the overall Spartan commander? He will count as for route points if he gets lost, but no one else will. And, well, let's give it a shot. Historically, this ended up as a Spartan victory. The two armies drifted to the right and ended up wiping out each other's left flanks, and then the Spartans cleaned up in the end. Spartans got the initiative, so they had to move somebody first. They probably should have moved, I didn't mention this, the cav and skirmisher commands. Those are leaderless commands. I probably should have tried to move my skirmishers out of the way, because the stupidest thing you can possibly have is have your skirmishers in front of you the way they were set up here. But that's the suggested, so you'd think it would make sense. Well, you don't want them in front of your hoplites, because your hoplites run through them, and take a hit each for going through them. In addition, the hoplites kind of charged forward. It's not good to have initiative in a battle like this because you have to select a unit to go. And in the case of the hoplites, well, now I'm within range where my enemy can hit me first. I don't think there's room in this battle for the drift to the right situation, nor do I think it was terribly likely to happen given me as the player, but we'll see. If the Spartans get a second action, they are going to try to charge forward, in which case they will take the shift to the right. But the other side won't. It's got a successful momentum. Sparta decided to try to trump it because the battle is going to be decided. Well, there's not going to be much to do except roll lots and lots of dice beyond after first contact. So I want to make sure I get the first strike in. There's advantages to being the attacker in this system, and that's not going to happen. And they're not Thebans, Corinth, whatever. There's Thebans there. Are going to be. They got their momentum back in the cup. For whatever that matters, they might be able to use it for their cav. Although some of them are in range of the commander-in-chief. Not many. There's the first crunch, and hitting that ragged line, you know, it deformed the Corinthian line as well. And I don't think things worked out terribly well for them. You can see they had some units left behind. The nice solid line of the Spartans looks pleasing. That's going to be able to wheel. There's no equivalent here because we got kind of jammed. But one of the Spartan allies routed. That unit's probably unable to be saved. This will be over fast. Well, it's hard to tell. I mean, there's a lot of points for each unit, but the units are so sturdy. And then, of course, this stuff is pretty much unimportant, except to cause hits to the hoplites as they charge through them, trying to get at their enemy. Corinthian hoplites got another activity here. Even on the thing, but and they continued pushing, and you can see they broke a bunch of the Spartan allies. Pretty much most of the Spartan allies are running. This one's not, but the Spartans themselves are holding up pretty well, and we're kind of seeing the effect without that shift to the right actually being in play, just the quality of the troops. What's our next pick? We get to figure out what the Spartan crap is going to do. Spartan momentum is successfully attributed to the hoplites. They rally the one unit, which is the reason they actually did this. Continued fighting. They're pushing. Jeez. I've actually destroyed a unit because it had nowhere to retreat to. But they're beginning to rout some of their enemy as well. It kind of looks like a mess right now, and it is. We have this guy chase the cav off and then began a pivot, hence taking some damage to come around from the rear. And it's kind of turning out historically so far. The Spartan leader took a wound. Luckily didn't get killed. I want to get him out of there. He's not doing any good anymore. And the turn ended with the Theban cav recovering up here, sweeping down, driving off some of the Spartan cav here. Then I mopped up all of those hoplite phalanxes. And Sparta has 3 points left. The Thebans have 43. So it's probably pretty much over here. But, well, we'll continue on. It's just so many of those Spartan allies were routed. That's going to be pretty much impossible to recover from. We'll see tomorrow. The Spartans got the initiative. The only thing that can possibly win this game for them is the hoplites doing amazing things. This unit alone is sufficient that once it makes it off the map, which is the end of this turn, it's over because we're down to only 3 route points. So we pretty much have to rout the Corinthian Thebans this turn. And I don't think that's possible, but we'll give it a shot. And at this point, the Spartans are certainly missing the old style GBOH continuation rolls and such, not because they kind of smashed through some of the units, would be able to probably get this guy moving again. Who knows what else, but they've got 1 unit routed. Again, that doesn't really matter. They're out at the end of this turn. It's just how much damage they can do to Corinth, although, you know, you kind of compare at the end of the game. I've got 2 more routed Corinthians. That's 24 points. That almost has them down. Make sure I've got this right. 12, 17, 34. Is that right? Yeah, 65, yeah. So, I think it's, you know, a hopeless choice, but, or chance, but, well, we had some neat action with a gang up coming from the rear and such not. Now, it's possible these light cav and stuff could actually disrupt some of these hoplites from the rear. They're so bad at it, though, and I don't want to lose points with the coalition, so I kind of want to stay out of combat, because I've won already. Let them go, let them run, which seems the opposite of what, you know, a route would normally entail. You kind of feel like there should be a pursuit or something. But it's not like there are routing forces over here, and it's not like there's any terrible advantage to pursuing or routing hoplites. They're useless when they're done anyway. And it's not like the Corinthians are completely at Sparta's mercy anyway. Their cav came down, routed the cav, getting a 2-to-1 attack on it, boom. And their hoplites struck back. In some cases not so well. These guys went chasing after these skirmishers here, and, you know, I mean, they couldn't rally or recover, which is what these guys did. Nobody over here could recover at all. These guys are just unable to do much of anything because there's no command anymore. Over here, we'd lost our leader in the fighting, but we were able to continue fighting. Managed to drive, I think, 2 of their hoplites back in this general area. And there isn't much left in Chits. Just a Spartan cav, and skirmishers, which aren't going to be able to do much because there's nothing in range for them to harass. And then a possible momentum. You know, finish it up, see what happens. To be one of the easiest battles I've done. Let's see what the Spartans have in points here. 4, 8. Okay, that's 12, 17, 34, and 8 is 42 more points. Coming off here. Which means they're going to be at like negative 39. Both sides, I think, are going under. I'm not sure. Maybe not. 6, 12, 24. I could have tried to trump in. No, the Corinthians look like they're holding up anyway in terms of their points. So the Spartans are fairly routed, and that was a right quick battle. It says it's going to take 2 to 3 hours. Well, not with me playing, apparently. It was probably about a half hour at most. Video says I took like 20 minutes on video, but, you know, there's a little bit of fiddliness in the game, etc. But I probably spent maybe 20 minutes total playing, and the rest talking. All right, let's send it up.